So for your lab assignment, part two, there are four different exercises that you are going to be working on. Um, None of them are all that long. The first one involves converting private fields to auto-implemented properties. And if you select this link, it'll take you to example. And here we've got properties. Let's see, auto-implemented properties. Okay, so you can kind of see how that looks. Those are the properties with the get set. Okay, and you'll notice there are no get methods, there are no set methods. So you will have to eliminate all of those to properly convert it. So the file that you're going to convert is this one. So you're going to create your new project. You're going to copy and paste this. So what does it mean to convert? You will be converting all of these to public properties. And because you are doing that, you can keep your constructors, but because these are going to be publicly named, they should not have underscores. So you'll have to remove the underscores. And then you're going to delete the get and the set methods because there is no special logic in there. So just get rid of them. And you can keep your print method, but change the names, right? Because we aren't using the underscore because they're not going to be private. And then in the program, the public fields are fine. You should not have to change those. What you're going to have to do is change the private ones. So the three that are private, uh, the is dangerous, is human, and list, those are using get and set methods, and you aren't going to use those. Okay, so if you look in here, and you'll be able to tell, you'll probably be able to find it quicker than me because it's going to be flagged red. Once you get rid of those get and set methods and you change the name, it'll be pretty easy for you to find the locations in the program that you need to change. But just looking here, this doesn't need to change. This does not need to change. And this does not need to change. Okay, so when it gets down here to handling private fields, this does. Okay, and so you're still going to want to prompt and read in the value, and you're still going to want to keep this loop. So all of that is good. But what you are going to need to change is this. So it's just going to be my creature counter dot is danger. I think it's is danger is what you'll convert it to, equals true. Okay, and this will be my creature counter dot is dangerous. You'll set that to equal false. Okay, and then you'll come down here and it's going to be very similar. Where you see set human status, you're going to change that to is human equals true, is human equals false. Okay, and then for powers, it will be similar. So a lot of this code that you have at the top, you're going to keep. And even filling in the temporary list, you're going to keep all of that. So what do you need to change? This line, because we don't have set powers anymore. So it's going to be my creature counter dot powers equals powers. Okay, that is exactly what you need. And that should be it. Okay, so not a lot of changes there. You just have to know what to change. Okay, and I would make sure that you run it before the changes so you know how it runs, and then run it after the changes to make sure you didn't inadvertently change something. Next, we're going to convert auto-implemented and regular property syntax. So to review, I did link in a example of regular property, and there are examples in the book, but this is regular property syntax right here. And here's the file that you're going to be converting. Oh, hold on. I better fix that. Alrighty, so here is the file that you need to copy and paste. And for this one, we have private fields, we have the get and set, and you will notice that we do have some special logic here for age. So what that means when you do your conversion is that name you can convert to auto-implemented. Age you can also convert to auto-implemented. And actually, you can't because we're going to have to do a set for age. So age, no, you can't. But for age restriction, you can convert that to auto-implemented. So name and age restriction, you can convert. You're going to get rid of the get and set methods. And then for this one, age is the one that needs regular property syntax. And so that is going to look something like this. We're going to have public, oops, where did it go? Okay, public int age and okay, so that will be our public facing one. We'll have to code up a get and set, but above that we'll do private int age. Okay, and then you're going to need a get. And all the get's going to do, there's no special logic here. It's just going to return age. The set is the one that has the special logic. And so what that is going to look like. All right. So first we're going to go ahead and assign the age. So it is going to be age, capital A, equals value. Value is automatically passed. C# is going to generate the variable and make it a parameter. And then we need to check age. So we got to say if, now you can either check the value or you can check, you know, there's three things you can check. You can check value, you can check the age property here, or you can check private age. Take your pick. Anyway, it's less than 21. That's what we're checking for. And if that is true, age restriction is going to equal true. And actually, we have to use the public facing property. And then add in an else here. We have age restriction equals false. Now, when you code age restriction, that should be a auto-implemented property. We can do public bool age restriction get set. And if you do set it to a default of false, okay, if you do that, we don't need this part. Okay, all you need is to check to see if it's less than 21 and turn it on. And so what'll happen is that C# is going to create its own get and set for age restriction. Okay, and so when you do this, okay, it's going to go through the C# age restriction. Okay, and it's going to, behind the scenes, there is a private variable or a field, and it's going to put true into the private field, and that private field is hidden. So that is kind of how it works. And if you wanted to see an example on here, look for an example that is similar. I did link one in for you. Okay, so here you've got some special logic in the set. Okay, now, in addition to making those changes, you would then get rid of all of these. And you should be able to keep those, but we no longer need to use the set methods, so those go away. And so it would just be shopper1.name equals console.readline. Okay, shopper1.age equals and int.parse, console.readline. So you would have to change all of those. And then in your console.writelines, we no longer use the get method. So it'll just be shopper1.age, no parentheses, shopper1.name, no parentheses. And then if shopper1.age restriction, no parentheses, get rid of the get. Okay, that is how you convert that over. Okay, and I am actually being nice and giving you a similar example here. This one, you are going to split a class into separate files. Let's see. If you have the classes in separate namespaces, you do need a using statement to pull it into the program. And what we are going to do is we are going to create a separate file, and we are going to have a separate namespace for classes that are listed in this example. And this is a very simple example. So you're going to create your project. You are going to copy all of this code, and it's not a whole lot of code. That's it. So if you want to zoom out a little bit, you can actually drag over this, copy and paste. Okay, and that will initially go in program.cs. And then you're going to create a new C# class, and you actually have to click on the project. The project is this. You're going to right click on that, go to add, and then choose class. Okay, and so you are going to name your new class Serial. And then you are going to move in your serial class. You're going to move the class Snap, you're going to move Crackle, and you're going to move Pop. Those three classes are going to go into your serial class. And then you're going to adjust the name of the namespace to serials and save all your changes. And then in your program CS file, you're going to have to add using serials at the top. Save all your changes, run a build. It should work. except that there will be some errors on the lines with snap, crackle, and pop, and these would be in your main method. And they're going to have errors because now they are in different namespaces and they are in a different class. And so you are going to need to modify those method calls. And this is all you really need to do. You have to give it the namespace or the class, a dot, and then the method. Okay, and doing that should take care of your errors. If you see any additional errors, you're going to need to fix them, but those three on Snap, Crackle, Pop are the ones that I anticipate you will have. So any additional ones might be typos or some other kind of issue. Okay. And this last example deals with a static field. So this is going to be a little longer. So you are going to create a new program for a banking balance class, and you're going to select this link and copy all the code. So I'm giving you quite a bit of code, as you can see. I'm going to copy and paste that code. And then you're going to create a new banking class. So this is going to be in a separate file. So you're going to have to right-click the project, select add, select class, and then you are going to take this code. Okay, and you're going to copy it into your new class. The new class should be called banking. You see, that's what I've got here for the name. So when you go to add and you choose class, key in banking. And then you're going to paste the code right in there. So at this point, you're going to have a program CS and a banking CS file in your project. Have them both use the same namespace, which is bank balance. And then because they are in the same namespace, you do not need a using statement. And then you're going to run the code. Add a few transactions, and you're going to notice a little problem with the transactions because they do not increase. And that is because the transactions are being duplicated for each object, and we want that field shared. And in order to share the field, we have to make it static. After we do that, and the field is in the banking class, after you make it static, you're going to need to create a default constructor for that property only. You're going to remove it from the constructor that is there. So let's take, this is for the other one. Okay, so here's the initial constructor that is there. You can see transactions are here. You're going to make transactions static. So you're going to have to add a static constructor, and you're going to put transactions in your static constructor. And that transaction should no longer be in banking. Okay, and then you are going to run the code. Let's see. All right, you do your constructors. After you make the changes, should be able to run the program. And at this point, the transactions should increase the way they are supposed to. So I did include some sample output that you can take a look at. But I don't think that this is going to take a horribly long time because I've done most of the typing for you. So you are just practicing the new techniques that were covered in this section of the chapter.